No, I think you asked the wrong question, which is you should have asked who was I filming with?
Oh,
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Yeah,
now,
that
now you
is.
made us curious and jealous, I should say.
I know, and we are recording now, so we don't want to get, any more into that than we have to. And what, dude? What's the shirt you got on? Is that your own business shirt?
For my main business, right? So that's the two sites I have. So now the recordings I'm doing actually are for the book I've written on China. So it's gonna be like 30-40 videos inbuilt in the book because I want some engagement to be there. So I just made these shirts just to, let's do some little bit of branding, right? So that's really
the boy is on fire. Hey?
No, actually,
writing books, recording videos.
Yesterday I was speaking to, you don't know her, Nick, Sulogna. She's you can say, one of the co-founders of Mind Matrix. And she said something very nice, which actually is true, for me at least, which is, so I asked her, how is 2021 looking up for you, right? And she says, well, 2020 for me was a year full of personal development, and 2021 is a year full of execution. And that's 100% true for me too. So even this year has started and it's all down to, even now I was writing, okay, when I finish this call, I'm just going to stay in this room, record a couple of videos, get them out of the way. Otherwise, during the day, something or the other will try to stop you doing your high productivity actions, right? So, so this is an execution year.
So I am curious. So you record on the green screen and then you have video editing stuff, do you, that you put backgrounds on?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you use for your video editing?
So far, whatever I've used is in the Mac, you have this.
Like iMovie stuff.
iMovies, yeah. But it's very cumbersome. Actually, happens to be that one of the marketing guys who are actually next door, they have somebody, they get students. So one of them does video editing. So I'm just going to give him all the 40 videos for him to edit. Might as well.
Here, check this one out as well, because somebody gave it to me the other day, and it's pretty incredible. It's called CapCut. Very easy. Okay. Yeah, CapCut is free. There is a paid version, but it's pretty amazing what you can do on there for free.
So actually, the time goes in the editing. The recording is quite easy.
Yeah, easy. Yeah. So execution. So
why are you so cold? Shiri. Why is Shiri so cold with the sweater and all? Is that cold or what?
There's winds coming down from the Himalayas, man. Give the man a break.
Yeah, but this guy, he's been smiling for the last 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on inside his mind, I'm actually scared to ask, so Nick, better you ask.
Shri, what's been going on in your mind?
I'll just tell you. What do I love about our show is that, there's so much of synchronicity,
serendipity, I would say.
Serendipity.
Did you like that, Shri? Did you like that?
Absolutely. You know what? In all the shows, we agreed that we'll start with a blank slate and go and take what comes up. Guess what? For the last 1 week, there's been something that has been in my mind saying, you got to do this for both of them. You got to share with both of them. You got to do this. You got to do this. And, and I was going back to our premise that, we'll start on a clean slate without any agenda. But I kept wondering, then why is this voice telling me that I got to do this for both of them? And your question to Manoj just a few minutes ago was the exact reason why this voice was coming to me again and again. Okay. You asked him a question. So, Manoj, you're going to put something in the background. How are you going to do this? So I've got something for you all in the background. Okay. Now, I came across this piece about 9 months ago, and it was beautiful. It's a 1-minute track that I want to kind of play for both of you.
Okay.
And when this voice came to me last week, and I heard this after a gap of 9 months. It said, you know what? We're going to have our first recording in the new year this coming week. So season 2, recording 1. Why don't we start this new season, this new recording with this background music for 2 of my friends out there? So it's a 1-minute piece of music, and I want to kind of play it for you. I've got it all set up. Now, my question to you is, how do you want to experience it? With your eyes closed, just on your earphones, or do you also want the sound to be recorded in the video?
No, it's just we just record it.
You just record it? Okay.
Yeah, well, it's recording. Let's just play it. Let's just play it. And...
Okay, great. Now that's settled. So my question to you both is, what's your insides telling you in terms of how do you want to experience it? With your eyes open or with your eyes closed?
Mine's saying open.
Okay. How about you, Manoj?
Closed.
Wonderful. Me too, closed. And guess, Nick, what's it's also telling me right now, my voice, my intuition is also telling me that, I should experience this in the Shankh Mudra position, So I'm going to kind of make this mudra. So it'll look like this.
Yep.
This is the Shankh Mudra, and I'm going to put it on my heart. What it does is to open doors, so it's going to open up my heart as I'm going to listen to it. So if you guys want to do that, you can do that. Let me know. I'll show you how to make the Shankh Mudra, or if you just want to experience it plain, and then again, do it another time. I'll share the link with you. Do that. Let me know how you want to go about it. It's just 1 minute long.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do what a very wise man told me to do last year, which I have been trying to do. And he said, you put one hand on your heart and one hand on your gut. So let's do that.
Wonderful. So I'm going to do it in the Shankh Mudra position. I'll do it as soon as I press the play button, and whatever comes up, comes up.
And I'm going to close my eyes so I can sense Manola.
Wonderful. So whatever comes up, comes up. And then once we are done, we take our own time to open up and speak when we want to speak or share whatever comes up. Okay.
Yep.
So I'm just going to get the I think, Nick, I'll need your help.
Yep.
Because I don't think I'm able to play it here in terms of sharing or something.
You want me to share? Can you share screen? Is that what you want to do, or?
No, my point is, how do I? It's an audio file. Now I can play it from here, but how will you both listen to it? How will you both hear it?
If your headphones are plugged in, is it plugged into the device, your headphones, or not?
No, it's in my laptop. Or if
can't you make him co-host, maybe?
Let me just see. So you're on a computer here, Sri, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to just go, hang on. I'm going to share it with all hosts. Hang on. I've never done this, so just bear with me. Okay, so that's event sharing. So you should be able to share that from your computer now.
Sure. Yeah, got that. So.
Damn, I love technology. You can just do that. It's incredible, isn't it? I'm glad there's nothing dodgy open on your screen. I'm glad it's not Manoj's. My heart stopped there for a moment. I was like, it's Sri.
No, I was thinking, from the very first time we started the call, you could see Shri was, I want to share this. I want to share this.
Okay. Over to you, Sri. Sorry.
All right. So I'm just going to press the start button, and I'm going to close my eyes and go into the Shankh Mudra mode. So here we go.
Is that popcorn I smell?
So how long have you guys been there?
A while.
So what now?
I wondered who was going to break first. I was like, who's going to break? And it was you. That's too funny. That's too funny.
I had a bit of a teardrop here.
Hmm.
And that's when I felt called to close my eyes and, get into this Atmanjali Mudra for both of you. And in gratitude and in good wishes that in the beginning of this year, from this year onwards, I think you both are going to touch so many lives. And whatever you do, let it be actually a huge wave, expansive wave that you take and that touches and caresses and uplifts so many people. That's what the wish was that came from within me for both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I could only imagine, you know, when the music was playing, I could only imagine us in a boat laughing all the time, you know. That was the only thing I could imagine, you know. And so that was nice. That was nice. That was nice. Actually, I wanted to ask you, what can we do to make this channel more popular? I don't know if popular is the word, but
accessible, available.
Yeah.
Known.
Yeah, because a lot of value can come to many people.
Interestingly, Manoj, this was the same question that was going on in my mind, Nick, in the morning today. And there was a reason for that. I'm not sure, Nick, if I shared this with you or not, but I think on 30th December, a young friend of mine, you would know him, Manoj, Siddhant's friend from IFDA days, Anurag. So he called me on 29th evening and said, Shri, I'm doing a, impromptu, spontaneous live on Instagram tomorrow evening. It's an experiment. Would you like to come? It'll be unscripted, spontaneous and candid. I said, I'm in for it. And he said it'll be about 35 minutes. And we ended up going for about 50 minutes. And, he asked some amazing questions. And that was the first time I ever went to Instagram. Otherwise, I decided to stay away from it. I still am away from it. I opened an account just because he couldn't do it otherwise. But what happened is then, he sent me the recording. I shared it on my LinkedIn profile. A lot of people then started watching it. And then what he did was, he's taken the first snippet out of it, about a 3 or 5 minute video from one of the questions he asked me, and he's put it on LinkedIn last week. And about, as of last count, 62 people have watched it only on LinkedIn. The count has been going up on Instagram otherwise. And he said, Shri, I'm going to also do the same thing for the other questions I asked you, and the snippets from there, and we're going to take it and do that. So that's when it struck me, and especially for Manoj, because he had done that amazing, wonderful podcast, that we all heard in his amazing, soothing voice, a few weeks ago. And I was wondering, how about doing this? I mean, I don't know. And I thought, because this is a closed group, I'll first share this with you and, seek your consent. How about doing something similar that we do it Instagram Live or Facebook Live or something like that, or take snippets? But for snippets, we need somebody who could edit it. And then Manoj just shared about the editing team he's found. So if you could edit it and then share those snippets, be available to more people.
And those small snippets, that's easy enough to do. We could do that ourselves.
Yeah, and those small snippets could then invite people to look for the whole discussion, because I think right now what seems to me is that people are, we live in the Twitter world, so people are kind of scared of looking for deeper, longer videos, unless it's like you, me, or Manoj out there. So, for example, I would listen to long podcasts, in breaks when I shave every day in the morning. So 20 minutes each, I would do that. So right now I'm going through season 6 of Gallup's Theme Thursdays. Now I have a need to listen to that. I have a reason, but for others who don't know what we're talking about, those long videos may initially be a put off, but those snippets could be the ones that could make them curious enough to know what else are 3 men discussing in a boat. With no beer in between and no fishing rod between them.
Yeah. I think that's good. I suppose. What about if we, just as an idea, we could also invite other people to come in to this, just as participants, and just have a yarn, and obviously aligned in some way, shape, or form. But we could ask people to come in and just see what unfolds. I think the only challenge with Instagram I found at the moment is you can only put a 1 minute, the video has to be less than a minute to go through Instagram, or you have to go through IGTV. And you sort of lose control. Once you put it on my IGTV, you sort of lose control of it. That's just my experience. I could be obviously wrong. I'm not an expert on it in any shape or form, but we could definitely do that. Yeah, we could definitely do that. But then we just have to, I think you'd have to snip it like 50 seconds, put that up, and then put a full link to the whole video,
And I think, Nick, responding to one other idea that you shared, I think in the initial second episode or so that we did last year, you said you wanted to invite your friend Nikhil, if I am not mistaken.
Pranil, yeah.
Pranil, okay, yeah. Pranil, and that he couldn't join us for some reason at that time.
Yeah, that's right.
But that's something we could certainly do that.
Yeah, and I think just invite, I don't know, do we need to invite people? It's like, will that change the dynamic? I don't know. It's because that's something you have to consider as well, I think, when doing these things, because when you collaborate, if you have something that's a connected, serendipitous, synchronistic connection, that's when everything unfolds. Then if you bring another being into that dynamic, then obviously that will change the dynamic, and we have no control over the dynamic. And the three of us were brought together for some purpose. Who knows what that purpose is? But we also have to take that into consideration as well. And it's great to share it and get it out there. But I also think, it will connect and resonate with who it's meant to. Because I'm just having a bit of a, I suppose, observation around when you over market something at the moment, it sort of loses its value. And I think one thing that we have, and correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but we have honesty, we have truth, we have love, and there's no agenda.
Absolutely.
Right? Absolutely. Which I believe is one of the keys to why it works. Manoj, what do you think?
So of everything you just said, that means you're for getting people to interview now or not? Because I didn't actually.
Well, I just asked you. I just asked you guys if that's something you want to do. I'm happy to do it. I suppose for me, this is just my personal feeling on it. As long as it happens naturally, then I'm happy to do that. So I think because when we start forcing it out there, ego takes over, and we're sort of doing it for a different purpose.
So what struck me also, Nick, was just sharing aloud a thought that came up. Now, I don't know how many people will be. In fact, there is a reason I'm saying this is that a thought has been going on in my mind for some time that I want to. I don't know when, but the thought will is accumulating its own shape, size, and therefore push inside me. But soon I want to open a podcast channel where there will be just surprise sessions.
Yeah.
Which means there will be a random book I'll pick. Let's say, so the book that just came up in my hand is this one from Influence Plus Persuasion. I open a random chapter. Oh, this is the chapter that opened up. Storytelling that moves people. And I will just read it. Right. Then another time it'll be a story book from where I pick a random story and I read it. The third time it'll be a random song that comes to my mind and which says that play me out, and I play it out. And then at the end of it, we just invite open-ended questions, whatever comes up. And whoever is willing to go through a surprise, be open to surprises has been my tagline and my signature line for a long time. Whoever is open to go for that are the ones who are invited. Now, keeping that in mind, I was thinking, I don't know, in a why-obsessed world, how many people will be willing to discover the magic of going beyond the why, of an unscripted, non-agendaic experience like the three of us have had all this while. But if there are people who are willing to go for that, then they come in for about, say, 45 minutes where it's just the three of us.
Yep.
And the last 15 minutes is where some of them could share their observations or ask their questions or share what it meant for them. But primarily, it's the three of us who continue to do what we do. The rest is like an open house, whoever wants to come in, comes in, doesn't want to come in, or thinks that it is not, tickling them enough as of now to go for this unscripted experience. So be it. So that's one thought that struck me. So that way we'll have the control of doing it in a way which is coming from a space of no control, no agenda, no structure, no rigidity, no limitation. But then others also who resonate with the idea get to experience it.
The first feeling I get around that is, wouldn't they be better off being on the whole call?
Sorry?
If we're doing something that's a surprise, wouldn't they be better coming on the call from the very beginning, and
Absolutely.
it's just unscripted, and I think this is just an experience I had recently with somebody I'm collaborating with who's very knowledgeable and a great expert in their field, and I have a great amount of respect for their knowledge. They didn't like, because we just did a video intro on something, and they said, okay, where are we going to go? I said, I don't know. We'll just start a conversation, see where it goes. And I could see that didn't resonate with them. So it needs to be somebody who is open to just
that's what I said, people who are willing to go discover the magic beyond the why. And so there are people like that, just few, but there are people. So whoever is open for that. So that's the line I wrote here in discovering the magic beyond the why. So those who are open for that are most welcome to be part of the call right from the beginning. It's just that for the first 45 minutes, it's the three of us. That's one way of doing it. The three of us are the ones who kind of take up whatever comes up. And then towards the end of it, the last 15 minutes is where they could kind of share what did they pick from it, or what was their thought, or what's their question, what's coming up for them. And then we close it with a small mindfulness exercise, and then be off our ways. In fact, in Delhi, I used to have a friend. He's in the army. He used to be posted in Delhi, and he and his wife used to do something like this in their home every Wednesday evening. I don't know what it is called, but it's just that people will come up there, and for about half an hour or so, everyone will sit in a circle in silence. And then at the end of it, whatever has emerged individually and collectively is what they will share, and then they'll take it and then just quietly move on. And it was a big hit, but it's just that I got to know of it late. I couldn't attend it. They got transferred by that time. But I'm sure wherever they are right now, in another place in Maharashtra in India, they'd be doing it there in their circles. There was a name for it. It was called Wednesday something. I don't remember. 7 to 8 in the evening is when they used to do it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it would work. I'm just saying on the first thing that comes through is, I don't know if it would work just having them come on for 15 minutes, because if you have somebody on, throughout the whole thing, they're going to ask questions, and that's going to be the surprise. And you know what, on our experience of the last, however long we've been doing this now, we can talk. So 15 minutes is nothing. Whereas if we, invited a guest on, and maybe we could do a meditation at the beginning or some mindfulness at the beginning for 5 minutes, and we just all connect and go, okay, what's come up for everybody, and we just have that type of discussion, and let's just trial it and see how it flows.
Yeah, that's another way of doing it. Manoj has been pensive for quite some time. I think I cut him off when he was just about to say something a few minutes ago.
I don't really know what to say. I don't know. I think I see some contradiction there. I may be wrong. So this is my take. And again, we're going to do anyway, whatever flows, because I think that's, because we're all babies right now in this arena, right? So if the objective is, so my take, and I may be wrong, is like you said about surprise. I feel that the people who will be interested or wanting surprises can only be those who we already know, because we have already built some kind of rapport.
Yeah.
The guys who we don't know, they don't know who we are. Why should they trust us? That, if you remember my podcast, at the end, I said, I may just have a surprise for you. After I did that, then I'm thinking, hello, I'm talking to people who don't know me. Why would they be interested in a surprise from me? So I got to make it, you can say, more tangible. So having said that, if our objective is to touch the people who already know us, then let's do it, with surprises and all that, because we've already built that. If our objective is to touch people who we don't know, then I guess we have to do it in some different way. Otherwise, it's going to be just another webinar, which I think is something we don't want, especially today, where there is actually over massification of webinars. And frankly speaking, nobody has the bloody time to go to webinars, So that's, I don't really have the answer. I would just say let's just do a couple of trials, 2, 3, and then see how it goes,
And I think that, just picking up on something you said there, Manoj, as well, is, it has to be, and this is, from a whoever comes on is from a non-ego networking perspective. It's like, it's just flow. It's just, this is, because I don't think we add our egos, I certainly don't, egos to it, or a need to network or share. It's just something that came about, and we're just going with the flow. So I think we have to be very careful around the intention of the other people we invite in as well.
Yeah, so so in that sense, I think I see the three of us are in sync. I see the three of us are in agreement. Like Manoj so rightly said, that the invitation is open to only those who resonate with us in terms of the way we think and do it, and those who are open to surprises. So, for example, let me give a small example here. So there's this guy in India. His name is Arun Vishwanath. Most well-respected trainers and coaches in the country, if you really ask me. Yet someone so toweringly grounded, so toweringly humble that, he started something called as a Trainers Forum back in 2007 or 8, has more than 20,000 trainers in the network, and all his events are free. Okay, he's also part of a number of other groups, and I won't take the names of those groups, but I'm part of some of those groups. It's amazing what he does. He does 2 events. One is called the Book Lovers Club, and the other one is called Learning Over Breakfast. The quality of the people he invites to come and share or present there is superb, superlative, no questions about it. Some of the best in the industry, nationally as well as internationally. And yet I see that in the networks where I'm also part of those groups with him, other than me, there's no one else who's interested in investing 2 hours of their day on a Saturday morning to be part of that. Whereas each event that I've attended, that he's hosted and organized, I've walked away, with so much tons of benefits. Yet on every Saturday, the average attendance in his groups would be in those Zoom calls that he organizes would be anywhere between 200 to 300, 350, depending on what the topic or the author is all about. And yet he quietly goes on about his work, without taking offense or upset. He knows very well that people who resonate with the idea are the ones who will come, and that's good enough for him. And he has no commercial angle to it. All these events.
No, that's what I think. I think it will resonate with who it's meant to resonate with, and and there can't be a commercial angle, because otherwise it would, wash away or tarnish the true essence of what this is about.
Absolutely. So I think let's go this way, the way we are going. I don't know how to go about, let's say, letting those in our circles know who would resonate with it. For example, Manoj, I know even though this is a recorded call, Manoj, I'm just talking aloud as an example, So for example, you and I, we both know Siddhant. And my guess is you might also agree that Siddhant might be somebody who may be interested in this. Yet if you ask me, I don't know till we ask him, because he's busy with the product that he's designing and making. And I'm not sure if he'll have the time or inclination to kind of be open to do these kind of spontaneous events or experiences. So I think let's just allow it to evolve the way it is. And then just like I think the three of us were meant to be discovered by each other and brought together by each other and be the media for the co-creation that's happened over the last many months. I think organically those who are meant to be here will find their way here, serendipity or otherwise.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree because I think,
So
yeah,
are we doing the Instagram thing or no?
my personal feeling is no on Instagram. Just because I just think I think they're just like webinars. It's everyone sharing.
No, I mean the snippets.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everybody's sharing snippets, and it's very commercially driven Instagram. I don't know. I personally, I suppose if we share this from a place of oneness, right, and just knowing it will resonate with who it's going to resonate with. If somebody's interested, they'll connect. You know, like your podcast, the Yes, I Did It. I shared that out of love and excitement because my brother did something which was amazing, and I shared that, and so many people said, you know what, that sends a really good message. I'll listen to it. So I think it's more around, if we're going to share it in this format and just make sure the messaging is right on Instagram, and so it's non-commercial. In if people want to jump.
Thank you for that, Nick. And I agree with you. But I think there's two different things, because one thing is a podcast of 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Another thing is what Shiri said, of 1 hour. So we come back to the initial point, which is, if we really want to touch more lives, then maybe we have to, and I'm not talking commercial in the sense of making money. That's not the what I'm trying to say here, because that's not the intention of any of us. But maybe we have to think of, there has to be some action steps which will reach out. The only thing we want to do, I guess, is let people know we're alive. Then whoever is going to listen to us will listen to us. But if they don't know we're even alive, how will they even have that opportunity? Does that mean doing it on LinkedIn? Does that mean doing it on Twitter? Does that mean doing a minute or 50 seconds, what you said on Instagram, without having any call to action? I don't know.
You've read my mind, because I hear this so much at the moment, and it just doesn't resonate with me. It's like, it's all about call to action, market them. Let's, this is just language I've heard recently. It's like, let's get our hooks into them. And that does not resonate with me one bit. I want to, yes, I want to connect with people, but without having that mindset.
Connecting what both of you just said, something just struck me, which I want to share, is this. If you go back to our 2 previous episodes, I think one was in October that we did, and I think the other one maybe in November or December. It was interesting, Nick, how at the end of it, when Manoj put the whole video together on YouTube, what was the title he gave to both of them? Both of those videos is what's coming up in my mind. So I think in the October one, he gave the title Moved by Love. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And in the November or December one, he said Synchronicity and Serendipity in 2020 is what he gave. Right. So I think when you give a title like that, or let's say you take small snippets out of it and you highlight what the title is all about, or what that small snippet is all about, then it'll go out and it'll come to the attention of people who resonate with that kind of a thing, or are seeking those kind of things out there.
No, I agree.
Let the small snippets go out, in the open ocean, just the way it is meant to go, and do its small quiet job, is what's coming in for me when I synergize what both of you shared in terms of your intent as well as concern.
Yeah, I think that would be a better formula, and I love the analogy of just release it into the ocean, right? It's like let it be free and let it connect with who it's meant to, and if that drives people and they want to come on and they want to be part of it, then great.
You know, it's like that message in a bottle that people put and throw kind of as far as possible they can into the ocean from the beach.
Yeah.
And then it takes a life of its own and it goes to a separate place.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, they say, don't they? They say if you take a cup of water and you pour it into the ocean, you know, it gets absorbed in the ocean. You can never get it back, so you have no control over it. And I think that's the key. As long as, for me anyway, you know, as long as we haven't got control over it and we're not pushing it for recognition or to drive some sort of commercial obligation or monetization or egotistical need, then if we come from a place of love and synchronicity and serendipity and oneness, then it will connect with who it's meant to. And if it gains momentum and we create a wave or something, you know, in the ocean, and it goes from a 2-foot wave to a 6-foot wave to a 10-foot wave, and whatever happens, that's great. But that's great if it happens, but that's not necessarily our intention.
You know, Manoj, I'd like to know what your head is nodding about, but you know what struck me is
just thinking that this guy, I'm just thinking 10-foot wave. Shit, I hope Nick's island is big enough. Otherwise, he's just going to.
It will take me.
Totally submerge him, you know.
You know, but I saw a video of a guy come up on a newsfeed yesterday in Mavericks Beach in California. Search it. He's a 60-year-old surfer, and he rode a wave that looked at least 40 to 50 feet. And he rode this wave, and you know, that's the power of the flow of the ocean. You never know what wave and what size of wave you're going to get. So let's just see.
So 2 things, Manoj. One, you know, if you remember, when we finished listening to that piece of music, I went into one of the most deepest meditative states. I was very alive. My heartbeat was something so profoundly, you know, something I could experience. And then we all opened our eyes. And then in that moment, it kind of, that prayer came inside me for both of you. And I said that, you know, may both of you go out like those big expansive waves and touch the lives of so many out there. And I think almost about 40 minutes later, or 45 minutes later, Nick comes back and uses the same phrase about the wave being, you know, bigger and expansive as it goes. So, you know, in a way, you know, it was like going, you know, coming back in circles. Because that's something interesting.
But yeah, and I think, look, from the music, going back to the music, which does resonate with, I think, with what we're discussing now, is the first thing I noticed, and you guys don't know this, but the first thing I noticed was there was a butterfly on the cover, and I have butterflies fly around me all the time, and I see butterflies all the time, and they crash into windows around me. So I was like, oh, okay, that's something to listen to because it has a butterfly there, and we know the power of symbols on the unconscious mind, right? So I listened to that, and the words that came up were I am consciousness. So that's the only thing that come up, because I have a bit of a what's the word, a change. So every time I close my eyes now, I just go into this meditative state of the I am consciousness. So that's what came up for me. And I think when I think about that and a greater frequency and vibration, which is the same experience that music gave, it was a very high frequency, almost like brainwave frequency transformation, which obviously affects the nervous system and everything, right? Which was great. But for me, that I am consciousness has that same level of frequency. And I think just coming back to that, coming from love, you know, and before you played that music, you may or may not have saw, but I actually was filling up just with love for you guys. Like, I was just filling out with love, because it's just, we are on this boat, right? And we're, you know, the boat's in 3 different points of the world, yet there is deep deep love for all, well, for me anyway, for you. And I really felt that. And I was like, that's what the meaning of this is, whatever this is. This surprise and all these things. It's coming from a place of love, and I love to connect with other beings who have an interest in personal development, talking and just having an open conversation about what comes in and seeing where it takes us, and I think that's the beauty of it.
People always ask me, how do I define intuition? And I say it's difficult for me. All that I can say is intuition is knowing without knowing how you know. So I think, knowing without knowing how you know.
That's good. That's very good.
And Nick, I think finally I'm finding the answers as to why was that voice inside me pushing me to play this for both of you here today. And you touched upon the butterflies. I need to tell you something about this then. This month is the 5th anniversary of this movie that came out 5 years ago. And this movie is a Malayalam movie from the state where I come, in Kerala. And the name of the movie is Premam. And can you guess what is the meaning of the word Premam, Manoj? Sorry, and Nick, both of you. Can you guess what's the meaning of that word?
Spreading your wings or flying, or?
You used that word, Nick. Look at the synchronicity.
Okay.
The word Prema means love.
Okay.
And guess why the butterfly is there? So the person who wrote and directed this movie, he was asked about this. Why is it that there is this butterfly that goes around in your movie quite often? It's a story about a young boy who grows on to become a man, and the 3 loves in his life. When he was a young student, then a college student, and then finally, in his profession. And he says something very interesting. And this was one movie that got remade in a number of other southern languages here. He says, for flowers who are rooted, how do they express their love for each other? Because the flowers can't move around. So nature created the butterfly to communicate the love of one flower to the other one. That's why you find the butterflies hopping over from one flower to the other. And in a way, it's also about pollination. And then he said, so far as people are concerned, people can move around and they can express their love. Love is beautiful. Love is inspiring. Love is needed. Love is breath. And love brings out the best in us. And that's where the final story, when he finally finds his love, he's heartbroken the second time, but then finally when he finds his true love and decides to settle down there, it's an amazing movie. And it's a cult classic in my home state, Kerala. It's a cult classic. Those of us who are fans of that movie can watch it any number of times in our life. And there's another track from that movie, which I hopefully will get to play for both of you. Again, when my intuition calls out strongly and say, Unfinished Hope is a track you need to play for Nick and Manoj. I'll do that at that point of time. But again, what's calling out me, Nick, after having heard what you said, and I think I was wondering, why isn't it that, I'm asking Nick to share what came up inside him when he listens to that track? But I think I am glad I didn't ask, because it came out at the right time, Nick. And as we close it now, what's again coming up for me is to ask both of you gentlemen, would you want to listen to it one more time from this space of consciousness that we've arrived at the end of our call today?
I would. Am I still shared? You still shared?
I can do that.
I think as long as you've, yep, there you go. Do it.
Yeah, but before that, Manoj, how about you?
You already know the answer, Shri.
No, I know.
Just before, I'm just checking the time. Just before we play this for 1 minute though, I would just like to, if I can, in words, which is very challenging to do, but I'll do my best. It's like, I loved the way you described that movie, Shri, and finding that love externally in the end, and he settled down with that love. The love I am referring to is we are all love, joy, and bliss, right? That's our true nature, and that's the love I am referring to. It's like the love of everything. That's all we are, and it's like I'm still blows me away, and very grateful for whatever brought us together, because it's definitely brought together a love and a connectedness which is full of joy and brings great peace to me. So yeah, that's my, I'm trying to explain that form of love, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So please, let's finish with your beautiful piece of music.
Sure. I think given the time, I'll stay with. Oh, by the way, this piece of music is called Red Velvet.
Okay.
The other one that I had in my mind is called Unfinished Hope. That's what comes later. But let's stay with Red Velvet. Manoj, any words from you that's coming up before we experience this?
Just just the title of this episode, something like butterflies or something. I don't know, something that's what's coming up. So let's see.
I'm sure it'll expand in its due time. Okay, beautiful gentlemen. My love and thanks to both of you. And Nick, we know who brought us all together. That's our gentleman from Malaga, whose name starts with M.
You guys are. I'm leaving this group. You guys are messed up, man.
No. We're gonna chase you and bring you back, Manoj.
Told you that day when we do our walk, whenever that day is in the future, however old we are, we'll do that walk, and there will be a radiance of love and joy and bliss from us. And
we're talking the naked walk with Shri. That's the one you're talking about?
No. Shri has to do the Shri has to do the naked dance. We're on about the walk. We will do at some point in the future. But Shri, over to you, my friend. You play.
Yeah, I think Manoj. Let me do one thing. Let me just play.
We don't want you to dance naked now, Shri. We'll record.
Yeah, let me.
So he froze.
He froze. Shri.
If you can hear it without me having to share the screen.
Yep.
Okay.
You've come back now, by the way. You disappeared, but you're back.
Were you able to hear the music?
Can you not share it? No.
I can. I will share it. Just give me a moment.
Just share it.
Sure, we'll do that because I didn't want the screen to go away. Nevertheless. Okay. Here we are.
So I'm going to say goodbye before I do. What just came through was then Love and the Dancing Butterfly. But whether that will mean anything to you, Manoj, or not, I don't know. But I love you guys. Thank you. And just so,
ciao.
No, my focus, I didn't put in the diary last time, but so you want to go for is it the 12th today? The 12th of February? Do you want to do that? Or whatever the Tuesday is, the second Tuesday, is
Nick,
it?
Nick, let me get back to you on that because there's possibly a session happening